Falcon fans, you know what it is, you know what it do. It's your boys, Dirty Fanatics United, back with another banger coming at you live. As always, I'm your host, Chase, my co-host, Philip. How you doing, bro? What's going on?
It's an interesting week, man. Had a little things going on this week.
Yes,
Had
sir. A
some,
lot to
had
chat
some
about.
fingers.
A lot to chat about here at DFU. Got a bunch of special guests as the ones that are tuning in now. Be sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Tonight is Dirty Fanatic United Fan Night here, the first show ever, Philip, where we created a fan night, and we got some absolute Falcon fans here to do it with us tonight, Philip. With that being said, man, before we get too far into the show, if you haven't already, be sure to hashtag DFU for the free hoodie giveaway. As this giveaway goes on, we may change the object from a hoodie to a hat. I mean, determining the weather, how it's looking, it's starting to warm up around here. So that'll be y'all's choice of whoever wins that raffle. But be sure to hashtag DFU if you would like the chance to be entered into the free raffle for our merch. Real quick, I'll throw up a picture of what that merch looks like. We'll let you pick either a white or black. Either one of them, they're both pretty hard. This is the white one.
The white's tough, bro.
The white is hard. The black goes even harder though. So be sure to hashtag DFU. I'll write your name down. In about a month or so, we'll do a free raffle. Real quick, shout out to Deke Ruffin, always supporting us over here at DFU. Posted today his new Avis Avenue merch that came in. So shout out to you, sir.
City.
Philip, the chat is already popping off, so we might as well go ahead and bring in our special guests. Let's see here.
Baby. Let's do it.
Let's see. Boom. Starting off from the top, let's get this banner out the way. Our boy, other than Caleb Tillman, Falcon fan bro? From the hardest. Caleb, appreciate you coming in, dog.
Thank you for having me, man.
Spreading your thoughts on these Atlanta Falcons, what you think could happen this year. I got two more special guests coming in the building real quick. Our boy Justin Newman, not his first appearance, but his second here at DFU. So shout out to Justin Newman for coming in, sir, and spreading your thoughts on DFU. First time appearance here on Dirty Fanatics United. Our boy Cody Keeler, another diehard Atlanta Falcon fan at all the home games. I'm pretty sure he attends away games. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to each and every one of you guys for tuning in tonight. From the top, we'll start with Justin at the very top right. Who you are, how you became a Falcon fan, and then we'll talk some Falcon football.
Shit, I'm Justin, man. I've been there since the 90s. Both Super Bowls, I was still there.
Yes, sir.
Hey, why? Shit, I believe red and black.
Amen.
You heard the man, Justin Newman. Appreciate you, man, being able to come on. We got a lot to talk about today. As y'all already know, the Atlanta Falcons have hired their head coach for Atlanta heading into 2024. Exciting season here to come. But with that being said, Cody Keeler, appreciate you coming on here today, man. Let us know how you became a Falcon fan. What started this fandom? I see you on Facebook all the time. I see you at some of the games. We haven't yet linked up in person, but it's going to happen. Just let these people know what started this fandom here for you as an Atlanta Falcon fan.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was raised to actually be a Cowboy fan. Sat down with my dad. Say bullet dodge there. But this is, Dad set me down when 4 or 5 years old, 94, 95. Remember watching them. They happened to, be playing the Cowboys that year, and came out with the red helmets. Red happened to be my favorite color as a kid. Growing up, you think your parents' team is the best, best thing ever.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, I remember the Falcons coming in just, beating the Cowboys, and I remember thinking, man, red helmet, Blackbirds, obviously best football team on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
Been that way since 95. Moved out here to Atlanta in 2018, 1,500 miles away from New Mexico, all the way to Atlanta just to be a season ticket holder, and
yes,
here we are.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Cody Keeler, man, doing it big for them Dirty Birds. Caleb, our first appearance here for Dirty Fanatics United. Glad to have you on, brother. Want to get your views on these Atlanta Falcons. But before we get started, please let these Atlanta Falcon fans, your brothers and sisters in the chat, let them know how you became an Atlanta Falcon fan.
Well, obviously I knew who Michael Vick was. I had a Michael Vick football and everything.
Yes, sir.
I didn't watch when I was like really little, but I started getting into him when I was about 14. Mm-hmm. It was Dan Quinn's first year, the year we went 8-8, and since then I just started loving them. I mean, that 2016 year, when they went to the Super Bowl, just when I really, I mean, I was a fan that year before, but started loving them even more, then, and ever since then.
Man, 2016, a year to not forget, man. Definitely exciting year to be an Atlanta Falcon fan. Can't wait for the Mercedes-Benz to be that type of atmosphere that the Georgia Dome was. For Philip, me and you speaking, we went to the actual last home game. You actually attended a playoff game during that season. But the last home game, man, in the Benz was freaking, or in the Dome was freaking crazy, man. I believe I still have the plaque that they gave us for the last official home game in the Dome. So can't wait for that kind of atmosphere to come back here to Atlanta. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about today that could potentially lead us to that direction. Before we get to that, I want to give the chat some love real quick from Facebook. Let's see whose comment that's from. That's from Jordan Dylan Cravey. Shout out to Dylan. Appreciate your comment, brother. Be sure to send this to a Falcon friend. Hashtag DFU in the chat from Travis Preston. Philip, if you will, write that name down for me, Philip. Travis Preston, if you got your phone out. That's another one we'll add to the list. Our sister Kiki in the chat. She said, hey, brothers, how are y'all? Kiki, what's going on? We got to get you back on the show, Key. I know you ain't been feeling well. Hope you get to feeling better, Key.
Get better.
Little brother in the chat, Aiden Cravey said, hola. What's up, son? Appreciate you tuning in, man. Be sure to send this to another Falcon friend that you know. If you're watching the Falcon podcast, I guarantee you got a Falcon friend.
So,
what happened, gentlemen? Rise up. That's from our boy. Let's see. These Facebook comments, man. If you haven't gave StreamYard the chance to post your name on there, it won't let you.
Leon.
Shout out to Lorenzo, man. That's a diehard Falcon fan there. Congrats, my brother from Mateo. Shout out to you, sir. Appreciate you viewing in. Stormy Sapp, mom's in the chat. Says hashtag DFU. You're already in the free raffle. You already know what's going on, moms. Next chat here. We got a bunch, man. Chat's popping off. Shout out to y'all. She's a happy Friday, Dirty Bird for life. You already know.
Raheem, we got him.
The man, the myth, the legend himself, Dwayne Ruffin in the chat said, we in here.
Boys.
What's up, Justin?
My dog.
Travis President said, Dirty Bird for life.
So
95 North in the chat said, Phillips. Shout out to Alberta, man. If you don't know who this guy is right here in the bottom of the screen, 95 North Talk Show, head over to YouTube and check him out. Be sure to leave a subscribe. The guy's on Bleacher Report, man. He's doing something right. Check out Alberta, man. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Carlos Wiggin in the chat said a whole lot of gang shit. You already know what's going on, Carlos. Alberto Molina said, Phillips, what's going on? Congrats to Raheem. Philip, a lot more comments to look at, but we'll get to that later. Starting from the top, the Atlanta Falcons have got him. RaheemMorris is in the building. Philip, starting with you, and we're going to rotate all the way to Caleb, from Philip to Caleb to Cody to Justin. Your thoughts on RaheemMorris being announced the Atlanta Falcons head coach. Philip, if you remember, it was probably 4:30-ish. I hit you up on the Snapchat. RaheemMorris is the head coach for Atlanta Falcons. Philip, your thoughts when you heard that voice message I sent over to you.
For my first official thoughts, it wasn't my first choice by any means, but I mean, I'm cool with it. Don't bash me. I'm cool with it now. Help with the roster we got. I feel like he can come in and help these guys out, get the win. They seem to love him. My first initial thoughts is I like him, but even though I did still think there were different candidates that were a little bit better, but hey, I'm not judging that, man. We got the guy. We're on to the next. I'm ready to ride it out, see what my man does for us, and I'm happy.
A lot of more questions to come with that question that I just asked you, Philip. But real quick, jumping over to Caleb. Caleb, your thoughts on RaheemMorris, a guy that's been here in Atlanta before. He was an interim head coach here before. The team really rallied around this guy when he came in for his last 4 games in the Dan Quinn era. Your thoughts on RaheemMorris? He also just won a Super Bowl in LA as the defense coordinator. Your thoughts of RaheemMorris landing in Atlanta as the head coach?
Well, first off, obviously, like Philip said, he wasn't really the first choice, but looking at all these guys on social media, the players and everything, they rally behind him. And, that's all you need is a coach that supports the players and everything. And, that 2020 year, we started out 0-5, and he took over. And he won more ball games than he was supposed to. So, him having his own staff, I think he could do something really good here. I mean, a lot of people campaigned for him to be a head coach again. And I think he's learned a lot.
Caleb, you said that, man. A lot of big names like Mike Tomlin himself said If you looked at a position right now and you look at head coaches that are doing offense coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams, whatever that may be, Mike Tomlin, a guy that hasn't missed the playoffs in a lot of years, he did miss this year, but other than this year, that has not missed a postseason game in quite a while. Mike Tomlin said that RaheemMorris would be his top pick if it was up to him to who became the head coach. So it's huge when you have people like Mike Tomlin talking about such a young guy in RaheemMorris. With a young guy, but a really, really deep roster, a big resume. Cody, I know you got a lot to say about this new head coach here in Atlanta. Being a diehard fan you are, I know this move probably meant a lot to who you are as a Falcon fan. RaheemMorris in Atlanta, your thoughts on that, Cody?
Yeah, I would say, well, like everybody's kind of saying, wasn't my first choice. Unfortunately, our franchise has done a lot of losing and has had that kind of culture, that losing culture. And so I'll be honest, my first thought was bring in Bill Belichick, bring in, a Jim Harbaugh, change that culture, whether that take, a year or two with Belichick, let him, go out the window, kind of set us up. But you know what? I can't complain with Raheem. Raheem is, coached both sides of the ball. He's, obviously the players like him. Say the front office seems to like him pretty well as well. I think he's going to let Terry Fontenot do Terry Fontenot things, which, Bill, it probably wasn't going to let him do. Like I say, I wasn't super excited to start. However, like I say, there's a lot of positive that are going to come from RaheemMorris. I think he deserved the shot when Dan Quinn was let go. That didn't happen. We brought in Arthur Smith. That obviously didn't work out. The only thing I can tell you is I hope he does well. I'm sure, I want him to do well. Obviously, as a Falcon fan, I want him to do incredibly well. But I think a lot of that is going to hinge on our quarterback situation.
Exactly. You talk about the quarterback situation, a whole nother topic that we're going to hit on here tonight at Dirty Fanatics United. So if you're in the comment section, please leave your thoughts on RaheemMorris here in Atlanta. I see some comments here. Raheem the Dream, let's go defense from Mateo. A lot of Falcon fans excited about this move for RaheemMorris. A lot of Falcon fans actually predicted this to happen for RaheemMorris to land in Atlanta. The day before we actually broke the news, I was live at one time for the fan, and we chatted about it a lot. And I was actually spot on with one of my for one time. I was actually spot on one of my guesses, and I said not to sleep on RaheemMorris, that he would possibly be the Atlanta Falcons head coach. And then not even 24 hours later, he was announced the Atlanta Falcons head coach. So a lot of excitement around RaheemMorris. Justin Newman, I know you've got some things to talk about RaheemMorris. You've been a fan for a while. You've seen Raheem in Atlanta. There's a connection there. Arthur Blank loves him. Like Cody said, he's got a good personnel. He's going to bring in his own people. Just got to hit on that quarterback. Justin Newman, your thoughts about RaheemMorris in Atlanta?
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm with Phillip. He wasn't my first choice, but because I was rooting for Jim, not Bill. I never wanted Bill to come, never, because it was going to be a whole bunch of confusion. It was going to be his way, no way.
Yep.
So I'd rather have Jim to come, but then that didn't work out. But Raheem should have been our head coach when he was the intern. But, I don't work with the Falcons. I just watch them. But I see him doing a lot of things and bringing in a lot of people. As you can say, when he was with the Falcons, he had a lot of players behind him.
Yeah.
When he left, they were still behind him. When he was with the Rams, the same thing. So I see him coming in and bringing some personnel with him and do stuff that we got to do.
Real diehard fan here in the chat.
It's time to change the culture.
Yes, sir, it is. And RaheemMorris brings that to Atlanta. RaheemMorris is the culture for the A. It was time, man. It was time to get somebody in here that's a younger generation. Arthur Smith, he is a young coach, but just could not figure it out here in Atlanta. While we're talking about RaheemMorris, before we get to the quarterback situation, just a little stat line on RaheemMorris, his resume in the NFL, et cetera. He started out with Tampa Bay, in 04, 05. A lot of people bash him for those seasons, but let me tell you, RaheemMorris was a young head coach back at this time. We see head coaches that come in too young, doesn't seem to work out. Some guys can take the ground and just jump off running. You look at Kyle Shanahan, a guy that did that as soon as he left the Atlanta Falcons. But RaheemMorris in 04 to 05 was with the Bucks. 03, he was – my bad. 02 to 05, he was with the Bucks. He was the defense quality control in 02. 03, he was defensive assistant. And in 04 and 05, he was assistant defensive back coach. He was in Kansas State in 06 as a defense coordinator. And he went back to Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2009, 2011. He was a head coach. 07 and 08, defensive back coach. A guy with a lot of defensive stats on his resume. Washington Commanders, 2012 to 2014, defensive back coach. And of course, the Atlanta Falcons from 2015 to 2020. We all know what he did here in Atlanta. Had a lot to do with assistant coach, defense coordinator, interim head coach, pass game coordinator, wide receiver coach. RaheemMorris has done it all, people. And RaheemMorris is now an Atlanta Falcon head coach. A lot to talk about with RaheemMorris, man, but if we keep going on about Raheem, this show will never end. Jumping to the next subject, quarterback in Atlanta, new head coach, new quarterback. Philip, your thoughts on where RaheemMorris will move to make these Atlanta Falcons? Some fans would say RaheemMorris only has 2 years in Atlanta to get this right. Philip, if you're going to have 2 years in Atlanta, you got to get the quarterback right ASAP. Your thoughts on the QB?
Ooh, that's tough. That's a tough
Anybody
question.
you would like to see? I mean, it ain't got to be necessarily somebody you think Raheem may bring in, but anybody you would like to see in Atlanta as QB1?
For ones, it might be a push, like in the draft and things like that. But I'd like to see, Daniels or Drake May, one of them two.
So you're going the rookie route. You're taking a rookie and
fresh. It just seems something like we need in a way. Then again,
some fans would agree.
Then you could run the veteran route, and my veteran partay, I would say, is Kirk Cousins.
Okay,
that'd be the one I choose.
Caleb, any feedback off of that? Any different guy? Or who do you like here in Atlanta as QB1?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think obviously draft-wise, I would love to get one in the draft, but I'm afraid all the ones you want is going to be taken before we get there.
Top five.
Jaden Daniels is a guy I would love the Falcons to have, or Drake May. But even if they can't get them, and like Philip said, Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's coming off ACL injury. I think right. As long as somebody that could just score touchdowns, that's all we need. So
pocket passer at that.
Yeah,
so
that'd
you
be
got to worry
fun.
about the scrambling.
Yeah.
Cody, any veteran rookie you're looking at here to make the roster for the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah, I would say I think the Falcons have got one of two options. So you either draft Daniels out of LSU, go young. That's assuming I haven't heard the only getting 2 years. I figured he'd get at least 3. Like Mike Smith.
Oh yeah. I'm for sure he'll get a 3-year contract. But Falcon fans on the edge of their seat wanting that win so
right.
so badly.
Absolutely.
But correct. Continue.
So I think you either got to go young with Daniels. Hopefully he's sitting there at 8. I definitely don't want a Justin Fields in here. I just think that's Desmond Ridder 2.0. He's been in the league 3 years.
Yep.
Won 5-6 more games than Desmond has, but I mean plays a lot like him. I really think to get it started off right, Kirk Cousins needs to be the next Atlanta Falcon quarterback.
Yes,
I know that's not a sexy pick. I know that that doesn't move the needle for a lot of people, but I did a little bit of research while I was at work. So Minnesota, from 18 to 23, the guy 69% completion, 65, 66, 67, 69, 70, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 29 touchdowns. I mean, the list goes on. The guy doesn't have a quarterback rating under 99 over that span of time.
Anybody here, did you happen to watch the Netflix series on Kirk Cousins? What do they call it? Quarterbacks?
Yeah, I've seen
that series. That series there, if you check out Netflix, I think it's called Quarterbacks, where they do Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, the work ethic of Kirk Cousins from that Netflix clip made me fall in love with Kirk Cousins. As like Cody said, right now, the quarterback that the Atlanta Falcons should look at, I think personally, is Kirk Cousins. Cody, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I would say, my thing is, as long as the money's right, where we can sign some, re-sign guys, maybe get into the free agency past Kirk Cousins. I really think he's the guy for the job right now.
Justin, I know you've been looking at quarterbacks. I know you probably got a rookie you like, a veteran you may want to see here in Atlanta. Your thoughts on quarterback?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I wouldn't mind drafting a rookie, but I wouldn't do it. Not right now, cause shit, we just did that, and he needs more experience. Me, I'm a Kirk Cousins guy, but if I had to pick one, I would go out with Russell Wilson.
Hey, I can get behind that.
Russell Wilson. That's
I will go out with him because he really didn't show his potential to the end. Because Sean Payton was riding him. He really wouldn't let him be him until at the end, and it was already over with.
Yeah,
I would, because to be honest, he got all this guaranteed money.
Yep.
And he wants out, and his clause is if he wants to go, he can go. All the money is guaranteed. So if we really want to have to pay money, we could just give him a second and first round pick, or however we want to do it. But those are my two.
I could route with either one, man. Russell Wilson.
But I did hear a rumor that Raheem was talking to Dak Prescott.
Maybe. Dak Prescott in Atlanta? Question mark. Could it happen? Me personally, fuck no, I don't want Dak Prescott. But it is what it is. Atlanta Falcons are going to do what the Atlanta Falcons want, and guess what? This dirty bird here will support it no matter what. Who's in Atlanta?
But I am going to say, I'm going to cut y'all, but I do like the fact that Arthur Blank has put in that Rich McKay will not have any say so in nothing that we do.
Right. So breaking news yesterday after their little report they had, the news came out that RaheemMorris and Terry will report straight to Arthur Blank. No more going through Rich McKay. It'll be straight to Arthur Blank. So, as we all know already, Arthur Blank wants to win. He said it at tremendous times. The man's up in age. He's 80-something years old. He needs the ring, and he wants it now, damn it. So, if it'll bring Atlanta the W, whatever it may be, please make it happen. Real quick, man, we're going to jump to the chat, and we'll go to our next subject. We're about at 23 minutes on this live. 95 North Talk Show in the chat said, amped to see who Coach Rob brings in. There's a lot of possibilities. Facts. That's actually our next subject. Raheem the Dream Morris. Got some more comments here. Just computer's acting crazy. Aiden Cravey said, hashtag DFU. Philip, will you write that down for me? Jeez, somebody on Facebook don't like to hire. They said bad hire. Let me see if I can find out who that was.
I can find it for you. I see him.
It must be a Bill Belichick fan.
Said bad hire. Hey, to each his own opinion. But if you would, please leave a comment of why you think Raheem Morris is a bad hire. He also said, see you in 2026 when you do this again, maybe sooner. So who knows? Maybe Raheem. I will say, as a Falcon fan, I want to see Raheem Morris win. I will say also, as a podcaster, we cannot go into this season as Falcon fans already doubting him. We've got to give him his chance. We got to let him see what he can do.
Down with it, man.
The man won the job. He did something in that interview that wowed Arthur Blank, Rich McKay, Terry. All three decided on Raheem Morris. You've interviewed some big names. You look at Bill Belichick. You look at Jim Harbaugh, Bobby Slowick, Ben Johnson. The list goes on and on. Brian Callahan. There's a lot of names that we interviewed this year, and Raheem Morris won the job. That speaks volumes. Raheem Morris won the job for a reason. One time for the fan. Go ahead, Justin.
I just want to say this, man. We have the back with this fan base. It is, now all of a sudden, everybody say get rid of Arthur Smith. We done got rid of him. Raheem was the better fit. Now all of a sudden, bad hire. But if we go 5-0, 8-0, 6-0, and that was a good pick. That's what they want to get on base. I don't get it.
Travis Preston in the chat said, Berto, everybody knows who Berto is, man. Shout out to Berto, 95 North doing big things. Facebook user said it was time for a young coach, also having a young team. I feel they'll rally behind him, not to mention Grady had his best season under him. Facts. I mean, you look at A.J. Terrell, you look at David Onamata that's in Atlanta, you look at Caden Ellis that's still going to be in Atlanta, Nate Lamon that's going to be back in Atlanta, Troy Anderson, 3 linebacker set. Who knows? A lot to talk about when it comes to that. But this guy is a defensive coordinator guru. He runs the defense. He knows how to run a defense. He wins Super Bowls running defenses. RaheemMorris is the Atlanta Falcons' new head coach. Facebook user said, keep Ritter. Real quick, we'll go around the table. Y'all's thoughts on Ritter. Is there any more? Is there any? I don't want to say it that way, but is there any more chance for Ritter in Atlanta? Is there any more tape that we need to see on this guy? Starting with you.
My fault.
No, you go, Justin.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, personally, I'm not solely done with Ritter. Ritter showed a lot of potential on certain games. It just don't make sense to me how you start off these first 3 games as hot as you do and just randomly, as you can see, it kind of was the offensive calling and
a lot. I feel like, not to interrupt you, but a lot of Falcon fans would say Bijan Robinson made those 3 games easier for Desmond Ritter, because you look at it. If you look at the scheme of things, Bijan was on fire through those first 3 games until defenses started scheming of what Bijan is, and they still weren't able to contain Bijan. Actually, breaking news: Bijan is a top 5 candidate to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So shout out to Bijan. But continue on, Phil.
But still, with that, it still doesn't make sense how your passing game just went so down, just started to downgrade. The way it started, that's what you want to see. And to me, I've seen a lot of potential out of this and some other games as well, But for him, I just see if we go a certain route, I just see him as a backup unless he, sits behind somebody and learns and then eventually gets, elevated up. Unless it's anything like that, I just don't see nothing other than just backup.
Caleb, your thoughts on Desmond Ritter in Atlanta?
Well, I think honestly, it's time to get a new quarterback because I'm fine with him being a backup. But to me, what was weak with Arthur Smith, he didn't. Ritter was fine to begin with, but then he started regressing. And I thought, if we had an elite quarterback, we probably could have won, a lot more games if we had like you get what I'm saying, like a solid quarterback. And I think it's just time to get a new one because he threw interceptions that he wasn't supposed to, fumbles. He blew a lot of games, but I wouldn't mind having him as a backup. I think he'd be a really good backup. Because even when he came in,
the man can win you games. If you're in a situation, if you're late in the 4th quarter and you need a touchdown to win the game, or you need to get in field goal range, Desmond Ritter can move the ball to get you in that position. So 100%, Caleb, I understand what you and Philip both said. A good backup in the NFL, I could potentially see that. Cody, Justin, anything you want to put in here about Ritter?
Yeah, like you said, Desmond's a serviceable backup quarterback. I like Desmond. I think the kid works hard. Met him, nice kid. But my thing is I think he didn't benefit from any kind of development. I don't think he had a quarterbacks coach this year.
Nope.
And if you listen to Matt Ryan break down kind of that last game that he had, where it shows him opening up his, his feet when he's throwing. And that's why he's, overthrowing or he's throwing behind or throwing too far in front. I just don't think Desmond had the tools that he may have needed as a rookie quarterback and going into this year as a starter to really develop himself. I think that's why you bring in a Kirk Cousins. Smart guy, works hard, brings him in, and that may be the answer because Kurt may have another 3 years.
3-4 years,
learn behind Kurt, and then maybe he can step it up again, and get his shot again.
Justin?
I'm the same way. He didn't never have the ability to learn from a real quarterback.
Right.
Heineke was not that quarterback.
Mariota was not that quarterback.
Definitely was not that quarterback. I believe if you bring in a Kirk Cousins or a Russell Wilson, something like that, and let him sit and just look and pay attention. I'm not gonna say it was all on Ritter. It was play calling too.
Right.
But it was a 60-40, 60 on him. Because it could have been times that you could have took off running but you chose to
through an interception. Yeah,
exactly. So I believe Raheem is going to bring the personnel in, and the quarterback that he's going to get. I see Ritter as a backup quarterback. I give Ritter at least 2 years to learn and show and do all of that. But I rather have him as my backup.
We talked about backups and we talked about not having that quarterback coach. But guess what? RaheemMorris potentially to Zach Robinson, as this comment here says, Zach Robinson and Kirk Cousins. Zach coach Matthew Stafford, same style. Zach Robinson, the LA Rams quarterback coach, a guy that's been in the league for a while. He knows what it's like to coach a quarterback of high stature. You know, Matthew Stafford winning his Super Bowl ring in LA. Huge achievement as a quarterback coach for your quarterback to go out there and win that thing in his first year. So, I mean, people like Zach Robinson to Atlanta, I mean, it'd be tremendous. Philip, that's actually our next topic. I know you had some offensive coordinators you wanted to throw out there that we could talk about. Cody, Justin, Caleb, if y'all have somebody in mind, please throw their name out there. But Philip, start it off, brother. Who you got for OC here in Atlanta?
For one, it's one of those names a minute ago he worked with Raheem. The one was Zach Robinson, and then the other was also Mike LaFleur, which is also the offensive coordinator for the Rams. So, they have a certain, mutual respect there. They've worked with each other. They won a Super Bowl together as well. So one of them two, I feel like could be a pick.
Yeah.
Or think of his name at the time. But as of right now, I'm going to lean towards those two at the moment, unless I think of other names, going down. As of right now, that's the two I'm going with.
Caleb, anybody different? Who Philip
mentioned? Well, I mean, actually, I believe he's the passing game coordinator at the 49ers, Clint Kubiak. I mean, maybe I think that'd be a good one to get.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind Zach Robinson either, because I mean, like that comment said, he worked with Matthew Stafford and everything, but Clint Kubiak, I feel like it wouldn't be bad either. So,
100%. Cody, anything you want to add to that?
I'll say no. I'm kind of on the Zach Robinson train, especially helps develop Ritter, same play style as Kirk Cousins and all that stuff. Was kind of looking at the Rams numbers there with him there since 19, 10th in passing, in 23, 7th in points in 21, 11th in scoring in 19.
Nice.
So obviously he's around, great offensive coaches, especially with what's his name, Sean McVay out there.
Yep.
So that hands down is my pick. I don't think you go anywhere else but there.
Hey, that boy Cody coming with a staff tonight on Dirty Fanatics. You're not a potential podcaster in the future? Question mark?
Maybe. I'll say I'm always up for it.
Justin Newman, anybody else you want to add there, brother?
Zach Robinson was my number one, and my number two was the 49ers one. But Zach has an interview with the Saints, but I believe, and then after the Saints, he has one with us. So I'm thinking and I'm hoping that we could possibly lean on Zach.
Yeah.
But hell, you could pick up and then the Baltimore Ravens offensive coach.
Yep.
His contract is up this year too. So if they get knocked out, that's another possibility of getting him also.
That would be a huge name to bring into Atlanta. Doing what he did, Todd Monken's who we're talking about, doing what he did in Georgia and then coming to the NFL and still rolling on like it ain't shit. The transfer from college to the NFL is crazy. Todd Monken would be a hell of a name to bring here to Atlanta. Headed back to the comment section real quick. He said, Aiden Kirby said, take Kirk Thuggins for QB. I can ride with it. Somebody say, yes, keep Ritter, bring Ryan in as a coach. I agree. Great move. Great move, or bring Ryan back to let Ritter learn from him. Matt Ryan as a QB coach would be freaking amazing in Atlanta, man. Like Cody said, he showed it in his broadcasting. He knows how to break. I mean, the man did it for freaking years. He's the NFL MVP for a reason. Matt Ryan, if you happen to see this podcast, please apply for that job. Muhammad, a lot of speculations going around Muhammad Sanu wanting to be a receiver coach in Atlanta.
Yes,
I also saw Ricardo Allen too.
Rico, that would be dope, man. That two guys there that are really active on Twitter. That no matter how many times you comment to them, they're gonna make sure they like it or at least comment back. So
you know how
shout out to Rico and them.
Hey, I got a question for all y'all, right?
Go ahead.
And you know, who's been the number one tweeter on the NFL sites ever since we got RaheemMorris?
Roddy White.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey's been heavy on him. Yeah.
So
Jalen Ramsey
what do you think? What do you
see.
think if we end up getting him as in our backfield?
Hey, look, me and Philip, we talked about it a good bit, and we both agreed that we're still missing that corner, that second cornerback, that legit shutdown. I will say, when Okudah came into the year healthy, Okudah was amazing. Okudah did his job here in Atlanta, and then Okudah took the knee injury. Never, it was a knee or ankle, I can't remember, but never really fully healed from that injury, I don't believe. So maybe Okudah's back in Atlanta. That's going to be a question for this offseason. We're going to have a show here where we talk about who's in, who's out. Philip, we did it last year. Remember that? In and out. So we're going to talk about that. And but there's a lot of players that are probably going to be out this year with the new coaching, new people coming in. But with that being said, RaheemMorris does have relationships with these players.
Hey, real quick, man.
Go ahead.
I ain't mean to cut you off, my bad, but Devin Fuller, he played for the Falcons, and he's got a brother on the grounds, Jordan Fuller. I wouldn't mind seeing him on the Falcons. I believe he's a safety or defensive back, and I wouldn't mind having him. So
he's
got that Atlanta connection.
And
RaheemMorris has got to go ahead.
I got something. What do y'all think about a Javon Bullock coming from the Georgia
Bulldogs?
That'd be
great too.
That'd be straight.
That would be real great.
I got to represent my hometown. That's why I had to throw him in.
I think Javon be great in the second round.
Man, chat's popping off now. There's so many comments I can't even go through all of them. But real quick, one time for the fan, gotta be sure to pop that up. Said one time for the fan. Said let's be real here. If I have a friend over 20 years, do you think he won't take advice from him even after they said it? 20 plus years of friendship. Keep that in mind. He's got to be talking about Rich McKay. We'll speak on that here real quick. Rich McKay. The rumors were reported that, we would report straight to Arthur Blank, no longer going through Rich McKay. Jack here, I'm pretty sure that's Jack, seems to think that, even that's being said, Rich McKay will still have control. I think it's different now. I really do think it's different. I think Arthur Blank has stepped back. I think he's looked at what this organization's done. Even if I don't think he would even put that out there if that wasn't a possibility. I don't think you just announce things to make the media happy. I think Arthur Blank really has this win now mentality, and he wants it no more or less for this team that got to get it now. And that's why I really think some fans that are talking about the 2 to 3 years for RaheemMorris to get it right may be true. If a RaheemMorris comes in here and we go 7-10, 2 more years, you may see him out the door, and it may be a whole nother cycle. But that's a whole nother conversation for another time. Anybody here want to add on to this comment?
I got something on that one. Okay, at the end of the day, it's a business. Friendships or not, at the end of the day, you're spending millions and millions and millions of dollars every year for players, for coaches, for this. Shit, you're going to get tired of spending all that money you ain't getting in return. You fired the general manager. You fired the people in the office. I mean, hell, that didn't work. So, I mean, you try to do steps and steps and steps. But I think that was a good move that he did on Rich McKay. I mean, silence his ass for a while and, report straight to the people that's on the field, not an office. That's how I feel.
Let's see. We got so many comments here, man. I don't mean to pass up on anybody's comment, but real quick, I'll throw this one out. Say, keep Ritter. I don't want to see no QB in Atlanta. Smith was his problem. Ritter going to be good. Look at Brady. He sucked his first 2 years. Don't give up on the guy. That was Dylan. Shout out to Dylan for his comment.
Oh, yeah. That is true.
Facebook user here. Brandon Keeler said, I spoke to Abe Gordon on 92.9 in the game today. He said Terry didn't have a say so in this hire. Philip, a lot of we talked about it here on DFU. A lot of fans were saying Terry didn't have no control. That Terry didn't have no say in this pick. But I will say Terry was at every in-person interview, which means if you got an in-person interview, you're more than likely
you got something to say.
You're one of the candidates that are going to be hired. If Terry's in that office, I believe he did. Whether the Atlanta Falcons are just smoke screening these fans to make us happy, it is what it is. But if Terry's not making any decisions, maybe you do need to move on. Why is he there just collecting a paycheck? One time for the fans said Ritter is QB3 next season. Sheesh.
Yes,
QB3.
I see that.
Who the hell is QB2, Jack?
I'm just saying though.
I'll be Heineken.
I just don't. I mean, listen. I'm gonna just say this. I don't really get.
What about Logan Woodside?
I don't see the. I don't understand all the hate there is though, bro. Why we pushing my man all the way back? Why we?
But see,
beating him down. That's our main problem. If we were truly behind him like we were day one, when we wanted him in there from the Mariota days, maybe he would have done better. We probably got in the kid's head. That's our problem.
Oh, I'm for certain he's seen some of the comments on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my thing though. Like, can you really blame Ritter for playing the way that he plays when you could have learned from Matt Ryan?
Yes.
MVP.
That's my thing.
And then you learn from Marcus Mariota.
Yeah,
like,
the motherfucker that throws the ball up in the air like this,
laying on his ass. Millie Mills in the chat said, DFU, what's up, gang? Coach Rob brings a little bit of everything for us, and I believe he's finna get this QB this draft. Hoping for Daniels, but I got a feeling it's Nix or Penix. Either way, I'm cool. Philip Penix is a guy we talked about. Bo Nix, a sleeper pick here in Atlanta. A later round pick that you could get with Michael Penix, possibly a second or a third with Michael Penix because of the surgeries he's came off of, the kind of collapse in the playoffs. He's also will be playing in the Reese Bowl. That's something we got to watch, Philip. Need to see about getting some coverage on the Reese Bowl. We can check into that. But Facebook user here said Ritter isn't the answer for Atlanta. He's going to be a career backup. That's it. He won't be the starter going forward. Well, it is what it is, man. And we know for certain Ritter will not be QB1 in Atlanta next year. That's for certain fact. I believe we can all agree on that here.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't have to worry about. Hopefully, we don't have to worry about the Ritter situation. Maybe it'll be all QB1, and whoever this QB1 is, so hopefully he runs off with it, and he's our next franchise. Millie Mills said one time, "What's up?" One time said, "Millie Mills was good." Thank you. Said, "Bro, no, he didn't. He stepped in the right away and was really good. He is what helped Belichick win all these Super Bowls." These are just fans comment in the comment section. Man, so many. Shout out to everybody, man. Facebook user #DFU. Got to look that name up. I believe. Okay, that's Dylan Phillip. Write that name down.
Marcus Boyd as well.
And Marcus Boyd #DFU.
Marcus, what's going on, Marcus?
Shout out to Marcus, man.
Rise up tour on member. What's going on?
All Rod got to do is come in and use the weapons that Arthur Smith refused to use. It's not hard to get to start winning. 100%. Man, listen, bro, it's been a 43-minute show, and I greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys that came in. First of all, I want to appreciate y'all three for even watching DFU. If it wasn't for people like y'all, we wouldn't even have a podcast. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody in the comment section, man. If you're new here to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Show Caleb, Cody, and Justin some love on Facebook. Real quick, starting with you, Caleb, we'll start with you and work our way up. Let these people know where they can find you at on your social platforms, wherever you're at on social media. And once again, appreciate you coming on speaking of Falcon football.
Appreciate you having me, man. You can find me on Facebook, obviously, Caleb Tillman, or you can find me on Twitter, Caleb Tillman as well, CD Tillman. I follow Avett, so I mean, you'll probably see me communicate with him on there and just talk Falcons with me. I don't mind at all. So,
yes, sir.
One of them two social medias you can find me.
Mr. Cody, let the people know where they can find you at. And once again, sir, I appreciate you coming in, man. We're gonna definitely have you back on the show. That's for sure, because Cody loves talking Falcon football. I can tell it. Brought the stats to the show tonight, man. Something we need here at DFU. Cody.
I appreciate it, man. I'll say happy to come back anytime. I'll say didn't have the social media information like I had the stat sheet. Find me on Facebook.
Good,
find me at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, baby.
Yes, sir. You guaranteed to see Cody at the Benz, man. Cody be at the Benz. Justin, my brother, what's up, man? Let him know.
Hey, man, I just got Facebook right now, man. Justin Newman. Y'all come out here and check me out. See me on Facebook. See me at the games. Hey. Home and away.
Hey, and shout out to the shirt you got on there, Justin, the Rise Up Tour shirt. If you don't know who the Rise Up Tour is, man, check them out on Facebook. The Rise Up Tour doing it big for the Falcon fans. I will say, as a Rise Up Tour member, I believe it's $40 or it was last year, but you get all kinds of merch, man. You get a shirt like Justin Newman's got on. You get like a badge. a little pin thing. You get all kinds of shit, man. Shout out to Michael Thomas and Jack Spade. But my first experience with the Rise Up Tour, man, was down in New Orleans, Stanky Town, through a big party on Bourbon Street. Atlanta Falcons took over Bourbon Street. It was lit. So shout out to Jack, shout out to Thomas Scott for throwing that on. It's grown tremendously. If you know Falcon fans that love to travel, send them the link to Rise Up Tour because, man, they do it big.
Hey, man, I just want to say something on dealing with the Rise Up. I've been a member. I am a member. I'm going to tell you something. If you didn't go last year, you need to go this year. We have a lot of stuff in place, man. We got Denver this year. We got LA this year. We got a whole bunch of places that we're going. There's gonna be a lot of surprise tours. Like last year, on this season right here, we had an Amtrak train all the way to New Orleans. We had Pastor Troy. We had everybody on there.
Yes, sir.
Hey, but y'all Chase gonna drop the link for the Rise Up Tour. Hey, y'all check them out, man. And then y'all check out that one time for the fan too if y'all ain't got that one time.
Hey, man, I heard Justin. Real quick before we get ready to get out of here, breaking news on Twitter. The Atlanta Falcons have requested to interview the LSU co-offensive coordinator, Cortez Hankton, for the vacant OC job under RaheemMorris. Sources say he helped develop Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, 2 potential first-round picks. This here links to Jaden Daniels, damn it. This could be the move for Jaden Daniels to come to Atlanta, man, and I'm so freaking behind it, man. If you get this LSU co-offensive coordinator, bro.
I've been posting the picture on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. My boy in an ATL jersey.
I think that'd be a great hire.
Shout out to Jack for sending me that. Or actually, that was Kiki. Shout out to Kiera for sending that. That's dope because Daniels to Atlanta, man. That's something I could get behind.
I can see that.
Yeah, that would be.
It developed George Pickens as well, so I think that'd be a great hire. So.
Yes, sir. Philip, man, it's been a freaking banger like always here at Dirty Fanatics United. Your shout-outs for tonight, and then we'll go around the table, and then I'll close it out.
For one, shout out to you 3 for coming on. Without, just fans and everything else, we wouldn't have a fan night like tonight, shout out to the boys. We got our coach. We're going to ride it out. We're going to see how it is, and I hope Raheem does his thing, man. I hope we get back to winning like we know like we can back in 2016, like to now.
Yes, sir.
So shout out to Blank, shout out to the team, shout out to you boys. And as always, it's always rise up, baby.
Yes, sir. Caleb, any shout outs you want to give tonight, brother?
I just want to give a shout out to everybody watching. And shout out to RaheemMorris too. I think he's gonna come back even better this time. So
Raheem the Dream, baby. Raheem the Dream. Cody Keeler, any shout outs you got tonight, brother?
Yeah, man. I would say just shout out to RaheemMorris. We support you, man. I would say what we're here for, we're fans, man. So always hoping he's doing well. Shout out to Arthur Blank for, pushing to get this Super Bowl, thing happening, man. Nobody deserves it more than Arthur Blank. Dude does a lot for this city, does a lot for this team. He cares about us, regardless of how people feel about him. So shout out to Arthur Blank. Shout out to you guys for having us on, man. I appreciate it. This has been a blast. I can't wait for next time. And Philip said, always rise up, baby.
Always. Justin Newman, brother, any shout outs for tonight?
Hey, man, I want to appreciate y'all. Shout out to y'all for having me on, Shout out to RaheemMorris for this job. Hey, man, go on, lead us to go on get the Super Bowl, many more. Shout out to Rise Up Tour. Shout out one time for the fan. Shout out for y'all fans. Appreciate it.
Hey, man, you already know it, man. We get the Super Bowl in Atlanta, the city going crazy, and I mean crazy. We party until 8 in the morning. You heard? Shout out to the Dirty Birds. Shout out to DFU, man. Shout out to One Time for the Fan. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Caleb. And most importantly, shout out to you subscribers, man. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all for appreciating and really supporting our boys on the road to 1K, man. We're at 266 on YouTube, 230 on Facebook groups, and 200, I believe, 200 even on Twitter. Philip's starting the thing up on TikTok, so be sure to follow over on Philip at Phil. I believe the name's still Avitz right now.
As of right now, yes.
Still Avitz on TikTok for DFU, but it will be switching over to DFU. So be sure to check out Avitz on TikTok. What is it? Subscribe, follow. What are you doing on TikTok?
All of it.
Do it all on TikTok, baby. DFU's there, man. This is your boy Chase from Dirty Fanatics United, man. A-Town down. Rise up, baby. Let's go.